The worst news is, and I can't believe that, you might as well hear it from me. Decca Heggie threatened us with legal action through his solicitor in May. And unfortunately, the case isn't going ahead. They've scrapped it. And I'm absolutely devastated. Let me explain that in this 60-page document, which now isn't anything to do with the court, so we're going to be having a look through this lot very soon. Absolutely hilarious, by the way. It's not going ahead. Now, in this, what he's basically doing is, he's saying that I can't call him a nonce. I can't call him a crab nonce. I thought crab nonce was just two random words I'd put together, but turns out it's got a deep meaning to Decca. So I can't call him a nonce. I can't call him a crab nonce, because he's not a crab nonce. And the other thing is that the last bit is about me saying that I'd heard rumours that he's on heroin. Now, I had heard rumours that he's on heroin. And to look at him, to me now, he looks like he's on heroin. To me, my opinion. This paperwork basically says in a nutshell that I can settle out of court with him for a very large sum of money, sign a contract or an agreement to say that I will not mention him again online, and publicly apologise to him, or I was going to court. So I said, I'll do those things. All I require is a copy of his acro and a couple of random drugs tests, just to prove to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's not those things. Sorry, guys. And they're no longer proceeding. Now, the other bit of bad news I've had today, we'll get to in a minute. In fact, I'll let Decca tell you.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening and happy weekend.
Happy weekend? How am I meant to be happy? I've just found out I'm not getting sued anymore. Send the crab outfit back. I had a little crab tuxedo as well for the court case.
Young man, what can I say about this fool? During my court dates, when I was
Some fool! I beat a solicitor by myself, man, you fucking pleb!
up at court in August last year for the YouTube videos, he appeared at all of my court cases.
Me and Vicky went to one day of your trial. The day that you were meant to go to trial. And your solicitor had told the court that at that present time, you hadn't actually provided them with any form of defence whatsoever. So he wasn't sure why it was going to trial. And you changed your plea. Now on that day, which was very good, I met Diet Chips, your father. And I'm not just saying this, right? He came over to us initially, and he was trying to start a fight with us in a Crown Court waiting area outside of courtroom 2. Then I think when he realised that, I said, I tell people not to come and smash our windows and stuff like that. He came back over and he apologised for starting on us. Now, initially I thought, he's apologised there in case I go and grass on him and get him arrested now, and it would all be on camera, and then he's locked up as well as his son. That's what I initially thought. And then about another hour or so later, he came back over and he sat with me and Vicky for a bit. And I still to this day, I can't believe it, but this is true. I genuinely changed my opinion of that man after talking to him for a bit. And your dad told me something that day about himself, about something that he just found out. And to this day, I haven't said it on the internet, and I won't do that out of respect for him. Shout out, my friend, Diet Chips. So I came to all of his court dates a load of absolute shit.
Trust me, this is true crack.
And I made a video about it at the time, and a vlog.
Travelled all the way from Newcastle to come and appear at my court cases to see
Do you know
what sentence I got? If that isn't weird, I don't know what is.
Well, ironically, right, Derek? Do you know what kind of person or what profession of person would attend people's court cases to see the outcome? Journalists. And weren't you pretending to be a journalist for what you were arrested for there? Remember? Can you remember those 3 days Decca was a journalist? And then the afternoon he was Tommy Robinson. And then the rest of the time he was in Shawshank Redemption, wasn't he?
It gets even weirder. He approaches my ex-girlfriend from the Philippines to do...
That's not true. She approached me.
...videos and put videos on YouTube.
Babs made it abundantly clear that she wasn't going to be what, pal. But Got to take the good with the bad.
and put videos on YouTube to make himself look like a good citizen, right?
I didn't do any of that to make myself look like a good citizen. Good person. Good citizen. Hedgehog man, he's such a good citizen. He's done so much for society.
This was
Have you heard his talks on Ian?
Hey!
No, we're not
a
going there.
man that was bullying her. 7 months previous, probably last year or the year before when I was in the Philippines.
I think
He was
bullying's...
making
Hold on. Shut up, you big bat puff. I think bullying her is a bit excessive. What I was doing is, I was watching your videos when we're doing the Decca Daily, and every now and then I'd go, wah! Like that. Which, to be honest, I ripped that off Dr. Ratpull, but I made it pop, let's be honest.
Taking the piss out of her.
And I doubt very much. In fact, I know now for a fact, Stu wasn't watching the Decca Daily, funnily enough.
So he's went from taking the piss out of her
What?
to then me breaking up with her. And how would you know that I broke up with her? It's obvious Karate Marty told...
What do you mean? How do I know that you broke up with her? Right, so what I was surprised to find out is that you actually only broke up with her officially in February this year, knowing full well that you will never be allowed back in the Philippines, and there's absolutely no chance of her getting a visa to come over here to live with you. Good God. Can I have a visa for my girlfriend? Yeah, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm in jail at the moment. I suppose you could say I'm a journalist on an occupational hazard holiday.
And then he's went and approached her, offered her money to appear on his YouTube.
And now I didn't offer her money. I didn't offer her money at all. I said, out of the goodness of my own heart, I said, find out how much that hideous tattoo of your name would cost to get covered up really nicely by one of the best tattooists out there. Money's no option. You can do that in third world countries, though. Anyone, you could be on the dole and be rich out there. So I got that tattoo covered up for her. Not because I want to change the public perception that I'm a great citizen. Great citizen. It was just to wind you up, you big daft cunt.
Getting her to try and
money well spent.
The interview that you done with her, you tried to mislead her with questions and try to fill her head and control the interview for her to say bad things about me, and she didn't. Right? I got rid of her.
Well, Derek, I can edit. I don't know if you realise that. And can you remember when she asked you who Danny Christie was and you strangled her? Well, that bit's to come yet, son. I've just been waiting for the right time to drop it.
Because she was a money grabber.
Hi, Des.
Alright, she was trying to get money out of me all the time, and
You haven't got any fucking money, man, you divvy. You are in jail.
stopped funding the money. I stopped sending the money, and that's why we fell out. Okay?
What banking app do they use in HMP? Or what was it called? The BBQ Tan Power to the People?
Video Craig comes in, okay, pretending to be a nice guy. Oh, I'm the hero.
Hi, my name is Craig and I just moved in next door. And then a hero comes along. Next door to her! Hi, my name's Craig and I just moved in next door. Next door to her! Sack that. Shout out Chew though, we do love you, Chew. Chew is a really nice person. I don't know anything about your finances or her financial situation in your relationship. But you did make her give up a job and all of her friends and everything to be with you. And then you got locked up, which granted, don't get me wrong, I know that you weren't intending for that to happen, but it happened and that left her with nothing. And then by the time that you wanted to go back to work, you need documents and whatnot over there. And this beautiful cult that I am the leader of, don't forget that, paid for all of those. She's even got a passport now, Derek.
And then start to GoFundMe for her, for the woman that he was bullying a year previous.
Yep. Now, that's called making amends, Derek. Now, I'm part of a 12-step program, and one of those steps is to make a list of the people that you've wronged. Try and make amends to them in some way. I am the Hedgehog man, and I would like to apologise to you and make amends for the wrong I've done. And she went, what?
Do you get that? Okay, but not only that. When I went in to try to get him sued for defamation, the solicitors that I was using at the time looked into him and told me that he's not worth suing. He hasn't got a pot to piss in, and he lives with his father. Okay?
Now, this is the other thing that I've tragically found out today. I found out today that I'm poor. I don't have anything, not a penny. I don't live in my father's house. This is actually the shed in the back garden. And I've got an old mattress on the floor and just stuff like that. So what I've done is I've had an idea. You know, the cult, you lot, you were so, what's the word I'm looking for? Compassionate and generous with what you gave to chew. And, you know, I didn't realize that I would fall on such hard times. But if you can find it in your heart to help me the same way that you helped her, then it would just mean the world to us.
When I went in to try to get him sued for defamation, the solicitors that I was using at the time looked into him and told me that he's not worth suing, he hasn't got a pot to piss in, and he lives with his father. Okay? This is the video of Craig that calls everybody else for living with the parents, yet he is living with his father and has got no money whatsoever, and they told me he wasn't worth suing. The man is an absolute weirdo. You're a weird fella. That's what he is, guys. He's a very weird man for doing things like that. Right, so that's my say on the Hedgehog man. But what kind of man travels to court case?
He looks like Scotty G. He loves the heroin. He's not like you and me. Now I see some comments there like he's just got back from Vegas for a concert, right? And I'm going to just have, right, it was all AI. It was all AI. And I spent the last of me money. I just live on like bowls of cocoa pops and pot noodles and stuff like that. And I spent the rest of me money on the AI app to do it, which is fucking embarrassing really, because you just come online, you just like want people to like you, and you think, oh, if they think I'm successful, then they want to be like me, but they don't want to be like me, do they? They just think I'm a fucking weirdo with a daft haircut. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. Fuck's sake, this is really embarrassing. The electric's gone off, the meter's run out. I'll have to just do the rest of the show like this. I don't know if you can still hear us. Well, the electric's gone off. How's his TV? And that's still working? I don't know. But yeah, you know, the cat's out the bag now. Something else I want to say as well is I wasn't on Monjaro. I just couldn't afford to eat. Spent all my fucking money on daft hair gel and that, and just, I mean, imagine finding out that you're not getting sued and you're poor on the same day. I just don't get a break, do I? Smug little bastard, what he is.
Craig, I looked into him and told me that he's not worth suing. He hasn't got a pot to piss in.
Right, Derek. I'm from a civilized society, right? We don't have pots to piss in. Hold on, I'll put the light back on. We don't have a pot to piss in. We have toilets. God almighty, this room looks terrible, doesn't it, without the lights on? Give us a second. First of all, right, so since I've been on YouTube, I've lived in a variety of different places. When I first came on, I lived in opposite King Edward's Bay in Tynemouth. I was there for 18 months. They refused to extend my tenancy any further because me and Chrissy were shouting at each other too much during lockdown. Fair enough. From there, I did have to go back to my dad's for a little bit. And then I think I was at my dad's maybe about 6-8 weeks. And then I got another apartment on the Fish Quay in North Shields, just round the corner from where I used to live in Tynemouth. And I lasted 11 days before I got thrown out for noise. 11 days, which I didn't think was possible. That was the apartment that Chrissy hit us over the head with a pan. Then from there, back to my dad's. Bearing in mind, 11 days. Somebody was like, oh, what did you get thrown out for? Not paying rent or something? I said, that's impossible within the first month because you paid up front. Then I got another place in Tynemouth. little bit further down the road from where I was, the first place I lived during this YouTube journey. Granted, this was the least attractive looking place inside, but it had a great view, and it was where I wanted to be at the time. I wanted to be in Tynemouth, but I was in the bars every day drinking, doing coke. I was still on speed, and that is in them days as well. And I think I lasted maybe 3 or 4 months there. So then I thought I'd move into Chrissy's, because she's got her own place. That didn't work out very well. And then I was back at my dad's for a bit. But I was very open about that when I was on here. Look at Decca's face. Look at him. That's just what happens, isn't it? In life. Oh, yeah. That was 10 years ago, that though, Ray. 10 Curzon Place. Could look out the front window, and it was almost like the Tyne Bridge was like the front street. You could see the sage in that. That was breathtaking, that. Unfortunately, you know, all these nicer places I've lived over the years with great views and like beaches and stuff like that. You know, I lived in Tynemouth, opposite a beach, for 1.5 years and never, ever, ever once went in the water. So it was too off me tits.
And he lives with his father, okay?
I have lived with my father.
This is the video, Craig, that calls everybody else for living with the parents.
I don't think I've ever called anybody for living with their parents. I've definitely taken the piss out of you for still being in that box bedroom.
Yet he is living with his father.
See, it's worth pointing out as well that my father doesn't live in a terrace council house. He's got a 4-bed detached house, and there's just him there.
And has got no money whatsoever.
And my old shit cat now.
And they told me he wasn't worth...
Not a penny. I haven't got a penny. Rach, put that GoFundMe out again. Has anyone donated yet? I might be able to afford breakfast tomorrow.
The man is an absolute weirdo. But
I am definitely an absolute weirdo. But I think that's what makes me interesting. I'm a weirdo and I'm proud.
I'll tell you one thing. What grown-ass man approaches another man's ex-girlfriend?
Put a picture up of the review you're talking about. I did that the other week, didn't I? It might still be not on this one. Hold on, let me swap to a different setting on here. Oh, there we go. That was me view in Tynemouth. That's where I made my first videos for the old channel. That's the view. It's sunrise, I think that. And there's that was Christmas Day. And there's the old podcast. That's where I used to do the podcast, the Gnaw podcast. This is before anybody watched any of my YouTube content. Not that I don't think my friends watched us at that point. Fucking hell, look at the state of his there, man. Woo!
Tries to put words in her mouth for an interview and then sets up a GoFundMe to give her money. Listen, pal, she had plenty of money off me and she wasted it. All right? So, listen, you're a weird fella.
Right, Derek, right. If you were at home doing YouTube, to the degree that you used to do it, getting your pip and whatever the hell else it is, right, that you can claim, I'd imagine that because you had plenty of money coming in, you would have definitely probably have sent us some money. But as you're in jail, can you even... In fact, can you claim pip in prison? Because you certainly can't do YouTube in prison, and you are barred from being on YouTube after you were in the other prison. So I don't understand where all this money's coming from that you're sending her. No, your benefits get stopped in jail. There we go.
So, and that's what he is, guys. He's a very weird man for doing things like that, right? So that's my say on the Hedgehog.
But you know who else, though, right, Decca, would track down the ex-partner of a public figure that there's public interest in? Funnily enough, a journalist, like you were pretending to be.
Man, but what kind of man travels to court cases, approaches experts? The man...
I didn't approach you.
He's not the full shilling. God bless, have a good weekend.
You've ruined my weekend. You've ruined my holiday. You know what you were saying before? He was like, what did he say? Hold on, where is it? All I can spare because I need Pokemon cards, sorry. Do you have a signed Decca book I can auction off, though? Thank you, Ryan, mate. I really appreciate it.
Good evening and happy weekend. So
can you remember when Derek said, right, I'm not involved in the dark corner of YouTube anymore? Decca Heggie, July 2025.
Young man, what can I say about this fool? During my court dates, when I was up at court in August last year for the YouTube...
With the exception of the stuff that Decca's made up in this, right? He hasn't told you anything. In fact, everything that he's told you that's true, he only knows because I've said it on videos.
YouTube videos. He appeared at all of my court cases.
Didn't travel there, I appeared. You know, like, there was a puff of smoke and I was like, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be a journalist.
Oh, trust me, this is true crack. He travelled all the way from Newcastle to come and appear at my court cases to see what sentence I got. If that isn't weird, I don't know what is.
Thank you, Lee.
Okay, but not just even...
Olia.
He gets even weirder. He approaches my ex-girlfriend from the Philippines to do videos and put videos on YouTube to make himself look like a good citizen, right? This was a man that was bullying her. 7 months previous, probably last year or the year before when I was in the Philippines, he was making videos.
I don't think it was only 7 months. I think it was a lot longer than 7 months since you were in the Philippines.
He's went from taking the piss out of her
it was Carlisle Crown Court, Ryan, yes. There's a vlog about it. There's a vlog about it on my vlog channel.
And me breaking up with her. And how would you know that I broke up with her? It's obvious Karate Marty told Craig, and then he's went and approached her, offered her money to appear on his YouTube, getting her to try and... And the interview that he done with her, he tried to mislead her with questions and...
I didn't. I edited out all of the juicy answers so I could use them when you were back on YouTube, sunshine.
Try to fill her head and control the interview.
Never mind control the interview. What about when she asked you who Danny Christie was and you fucking strangled the poor lass, man? You horrible cunt.
For her to say bad things about me, and she didn't.
Did you not?
Right. I got rid of her because she was a money grabber.
So you're of the opinion at this point that she's not slagged you off online. So then you take a breath and start to slag her off. She didn't say anything bad about me. I got rid of her though, she's a money grabber. You got rid of her, Derek, or you split up with her because she was no longer any use to your life. Possible circumstances could you have seen Chew again in?
Right, she was trying to get money out of me all the time and I stopped funding the money. I stopped sending the money and that's why we fell out. Okay, Video Craig comes in, okay, pretending to be a nice guy. Oh, I'm the hero.
And then a hero comes along. Why? With strength to carry. Why?
And then start to go funding for her, for the woman that he was bullying a year previous.
I know. It's as if I'm a changed man.
Do you get that?
To be fair though, right? You know, I did say sorry to Chew for taking the piss out on those videos. And I'm not just saying this. And it didn't cross my mind until I said sorry to her. She genuinely didn't know what I was talking about. Decca won't even let her look at YouTube when he's out there with her. So then he's not sitting watching the daily Decca cuddled up with her, is he?
Okay, but not only that. When I went into...
Surprisingly enough, right, women that live in shanty towns in third world countries aren't really in the demographic of what I do.
Tried to get him sued for defamation. The solicitors that I was using at the time looked into him and told me that he's not worth suing.
Right, so how can a solicitor look into my financial status without some form of court order, Derek? Do I have to put a complaint in here? Or have you made this up? But that's a serious question. What could it... Because a solicitor, as such, doesn't have access to anything that the general public don't. So with the exception of perhaps checking the electoral roll to see where I'm registered, and I know they can't. Needs more than a court order. What I was looking forward to as well is I wasn't asked if I want to lose that court case. Because let's say I lost and he's awarded £50,000, right? I would have just reworked my figures where I'm running at a loss on a monthly basis. And I'd have been like, I can afford to give him £4 a week. And in civil cases, the claimant gets the money as the defendant pays it. So he'd have got 50 grand off us and it would have had zero difference on his life.
He hasn't got a pot to piss in and he lives with his father. Okay? This is the Video Craig that calls everybody else for living with the parents. Yet he is living with his father and has got no money whatsoever.
Not a penny.
He told me he wasn't worth suing. The man is an absolute weirdo. But I'll tell you one thing.
Was it not though, because in this document, you're having a go at me Well, you're saying you're trying to claim defamation against us for one, calling you nonce, and two, for saying that in the time clip that they've said, that they're referring to, my words in that time clip are, I've been told, I don't know if it's true or not, that Decca's on the brown, that Decca's on the smack or whatever. So I'm even saying that it may not be true. And then as soon as I ask to see your acro and a drugs test, poof, he disappears. Oh, he's not worth suing, right? Derek, I've never sued anybody for defamation, right? This is a 60-page document. That couldn't have been cheap or quick to put together. There's no way solicitors would take this shit on a no-win, no-fee. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? In one of the timestamps, where I refer to him as a nonce, right? In one of the timestamps, earlier on in that video, he stood in the BQ Town immigration place, having his photo taken, holding a bit of paper that says Derek Gordon Heggie, sex offender. And this solicitor thinks that he can prove that I don't really believe you're a nonce. Nonce. I looked at the meaning of nonce on Wikipedia, and it says something along the lines of, it's a slang term from the UK, often referred to those accused of or convicted of a sexual offence. Derek Gordon Heggie is a convicted sex offender. Derek Gordon Heggie has accusations against him officially made to the police by minors. You're a nonce in both sides of it. You're a double nonce. Double decker. Hey! Fuck me. You know what as well, right? Derek, if you're watching this, right? And I mean this. With you coming back to YouTube, I was going to stay away from this whole nonce thing because there was nothing more boring than me having to watch 3 videos a day by you and react to them, where all you're trying to do is convince strangers that already know you're a nonce that you're not a nonce. And after 2 years of it, 5 days a week, it was getting a bit tedious. You control the narrative on YouTube with me. And I think you're that thick you don't know that. I don't make videos, I make reaction videos. So if you don't see it, I can't react to it. Not fucking rocket science it is for this daft cunt. Look at him, look at his daft. Now you've put me in a situation here though now, Derek, because now I have to react accordingly to the video that that I'm watching here. Where you're saying, I'm weird, and here's why I'm weird. And you're going all the way back to 2 years ago for some of them. So I'm in the middle of putting together a documentary called Surviving Decca Heggie. And that's going to be my proper response to this video that you made. I'm going to show everybody why you're a weirdo. We're going to go through Geraldine with the clips of her talking. We're going to go through Dot with the clips of her talking. We're going to read the newspaper article from when you were convicted of a sexual offence. And then in your own words, we're going to let you tell the story to the camera about the 11-year-old, you know what her name was, and then also the phone call with your mother, and then your Claire's law on the end. All on one video at a time period when the views on my main channel have never been higher, sunshine, especially on the longer videos. I'm going to give myself a round of applause. But bear in your mind from now on, right, Decca, you're in control of the narrative when it comes to reactions. So think about it. Talk about something else, will you? Because you're not going to convince everybody that you're not a convicted sex offender when you're a convicted sex offender. It doesn't matter how many times you go, I'm not. How can I be a nonce? He lives with his father and he's got no money.
Tries to put words in her mouth for an interview. Sets up a GoFundMe to give her money.
I'm only kidding. Love you, Jew.
Listen, pal, she had plenty of money off me and she wasted it. All right, so listen.
And also, I'm offended. You want to talk about I'm a weirdo? What about the joke I told? What about the air stewardess I beat up? What about the crab outfit I bought off Amazon? To dancing? To hold music? To your solicitor? I feel like I've been cheated here.
You're a weird fella.
Yes, I am.
That's what he is, guys. He's a very weird man for doing things like that. Right, so that's my say on the Hedgehog man. But what kind of man travels to court cases, approaches experts? The man is not the full shilling. God bless, have a good weekend.
Surely to God, your main objective, right, with trying to sue me in the first place, surely to God, number one wasn't money. Surely number one was making us stop it, trying to force us to stop it. Because I felt like that's what you were doing. I thought you were thinking, right, I'm due back on YouTube soon. We'll put the shits up him, right? Not realizing, right, that I'm like, oh, fuck, I need a crab outfit now. Not a solicitor, crab outfit. Because let's be honest, Derek, you thought I'd shit myself, didn't you? I don't think you pay much attention to the type of person I am. I really, really, really don't. Do you know how many stop it or else letters I've got in my drawer? Granted, none of them are this thick.